haven't officially announced it yet. Y'all don't even know what's going on. This is actually a class ring. Very, very, very nice and expensive class ring. Where you go? Where you go? Y'all are allowed to look now. Isn't it beautiful? I don't even know if you can see it. Isn't it so pretty? Look at the diamonds. They hang down. Well, okay. Thursday was our date night. We try to set aside a day each month as an actual date night. And I told him last week, I'm like, oh, well, next week I have Tuesday and Thursday off. He's like, well, let's plan something Thursday. I'm like, I have Tuesday night off too. Why don't we plan something then? He's like, okay, we'll do something then, but I want to do something Thursday night. I'm like, okay. So he plans this whole thing, like, without even asking me what I want to do. He's just like, okay, we have plans on Thursday. I'm like, okay, plans on Thursday, neat. So I go and buy a dress and everything, and Tuesday or Thursday, I have work in the morning, and then I'm off that evening. So he comes up to my work at 2, and he's like, hey, I was gonna pick you up. I'm like, I get off at 3. And so I can't believe I'm telling you guys this story. He's like, oh, you get off at 3. Okay, well, I would stay here, but I got a couple errands to run, and then I'll meet you at your house. I'm like, okay, well, my dad's home, so if I'm not there, whenever you get there, my dad will be home. He's like, okay, but I'll just meet you there. I'll probably, like, actually meet you at your house. So I'm like, okay, have fun doing errands or whatever. So I get off work, and I try to call him. He doesn't answer. Well, crap. Okay, whatever. So, I get home, and he's there, like, already there, sitting down talking to my dad. I'm like, you didn't answer the phone. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was talking to your dad. We were just in conversation. So I told him that I was going to go take a shower. It was going to be like 2-minute shower, and I'll be back. It was like 45 minutes. So they were sitting there talking the whole time that I was getting ready. And I go in there and tell him that I'm ready, and Jesse said that he needed to go change. So he went to his car, and then I went to the bathroom to go change, and I talked to my dad for a bit. And he asked me if I knew what we were doing that day, and I'm like, no, you probably know. You've been sitting there talking to him. He's like, oh, well, I think you'll have fun. I'll not ruin the surprise if that's what he was wanting. So Jesse comes in. I'm like, how does my dad know before I know what we're doing today? He's like, oh, we're gonna go to the Omni to see the Tornado Alley movie, and then we're gonna go walk around an art museum. And then after that, I was thinking either we go to the restaurant I really like in downtown or a fondue place. And I'm like, oh, well, let's do fondue, because I haven't done that with you yet. He's like, okay, cool, that'd be awesome, sounds good. So my dad told me to have fun and everything, and so we went to the Tornado Alley thing at the Omni, and it was awesome. Because it had been years. Like, I was little last time I went to the Omni Theater. And then we walked to the art museum, and as we were walking there, there's like, this is in downtown, and we were walking from one building, like, probably, I don't even know how far away, 500 feet, to the other building, and there was a security guard inside a little place where there was a parking lot where people would pay to go into parking, and the security guard is like, sir, is that your wife? And Jesse's like, he's like, is that your girlfriend, your wife? He's like, it's my girlfriend. And he's like, do me a favor, hold her hand on the other side. And he had us switch sides so that I was on the inside and he was on the outside where the car traffic was. He's like, you know why we do that, right? And he said it was apparently like something about, he said that if you have the girl on the outside closest to the street, it's like you're giving her away, like you're telling the world that you don't want her anymore and anybody can look at her. So you're pretty much giving her away. He's like, okay, and just, we switched spots and everything. We're like, that was kind of weird. So, we walk into the art museum, and actually, now that I think about that, that was going to the Omni Theater. And then we walk to the art museum and walk around there, and it was really cool. Just, like, it was really nice, and it was free, too, so it was a really cool art museum. And then we decided that we were extremely hungry, so we left a little bit earlier than we were going to and set up a reservation at Simply Fondue. And as we were walking back to his car, it turned into a really pretty day, and I'm like, I don't want to go in your car yet, I just want to be out here. It's really pretty, and I just want to enjoy the day, because I had to work this morning, and so we were just like outside and everything, and he tells me that he got me a 1-year anniversary gift, and he asked me if I wanted it now or if I wanted it later, and I told him pretty much, I don't care, because I don't know what it is, and he can just give it to me whenever he wants to give it to me. So he's like, well, I'll get it for you now, but it's in my trunk. And, I'm like, okay, what kind of thing is in your trunk? Like, we're gonna be splitting the cost of a PS3 for our 1-year anniversary, so, what? I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna be buying each other a PS3. We're gonna split the cost of one. And, so I thought maybe he bought the PS3 and he put it in his trunk for some reason. And, he's like, just look in the trunk, it's in there. So he opens his trunk, and it's like trash and books and random stuff he's had in there for years. He's like, it's in there, all you have to do is look. And so I'm looking. Oh, I have no idea. So I'm like, I'm not gonna dig around your trunk. And I look down, there's like this little stuffed animal that says, I love you. It's like old. It's his sister's from a long time ago that I'd seen from forever ago. And then he had this other like history book. So I pick up the history book. I'm like, sweet, it's a history of the United States book. How did you know this is exactly what I wanted? So I start flipping through it, and he comes up from beside the car. He's like, I was trying to distract you. And I'm like, I kind of figured that. He's like, yeah, I was gonna ask you, will you marry me? And he like opens up the box and hands it to me. And like, he's like, I'm not really nervous about whether or not you're going to say yes. I'm nervous whether or not you're going to like the ring. And I look at the ring, and it's like totally different than the ring that I picked out. Because I picked out a ring with him, and he wasn't nervous that I would say yes. Like, he just totally switched the ring around, and this one has more diamonds than the other one did. It actually has 3, and then it has, I don't know if you can see it, it has 3 on the sides as well. So, it's really pretty. And I looked at him, and I'm like, I guess. And finally later on, he's like, so, technically, will you marry me? And I said, yes, of course I'll marry you. It was awesome, though. Like, he spent a lot of time, like, choosing this ring. So we went to Simply Fondue, and she's like, so are y'all celebrating anything or just coming here? And we're like, well, we just got engaged. She's like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. We're like, yeah, you're like the second person to know. And she's like, oh, am I invited? We're like, yeah, totally, come to our wedding, whatever. So, we order a meal and everything, and later on, she comes up to us, she's like, can I see your IDs? Like, we didn't even order alcohol. And so we give her our IDs, and then she gives them back and comes back with 2 glasses of champagne. And she's like, for the happy couple, and 2 glasses of champagne. It was really nice. And then later on, like, we were eating our fondue, like our chocolate fondue, our dessert, and she gives us a piece of cheesecake. And she apparently thought that we got engaged at her table. She's like, I've never had anybody propose at my table. I thought it was really special, and so I want to say that I think this is awesome. So she gave us free cheesecake too, and we were stuffed. I couldn't finish it, but I was too distracted. I wasn't full, but Jesse was full because he ate a whole bunch of stuff. But it was awesome. So afterwards, we went to Walmart because the ring's a little bit too big, so I had to put a sizer so it won't fall off. He actually, he bought the ring on Wednesday, and he got them to start sizing it, but they couldn't start sizing it till the next day, and he didn't know that. So Thursday came, and he wasn't going to ask me, but Thursday came, like, the morning, and he decided that morning when he woke up that he was going to ask me. So he drove all the way to Benchmark and said, I need that ring back. I'm going to ask her today. So, like, they were just about to put this in the whatever they do to size it, and they're like, are you sure? Like, do you want to give it to her now? It's gonna be too big. He's like, I don't care. If I don't have the ring, then I can't do it today, and I can't live with myself if I don't do it today. So, he's so awesome. But it's going to be a short engagement. It's in less than 4 months.